Now, let me have the privilege of inviting the man himself here to share his experience and journey. Bhaiya, please.
On the very outset, I would like to thank Father Principal, Vice Principal, and all the teachers for calling me here and giving me this welcome. Uh, it's very great, and I'm very happy to be here. I still remember I was here 3.5 years back, just before I left for my final training for fighters, and many things have changed after that. I thought I will prepare a good speech for you guys, but I thought once let me come here and I'll speak my heart, whatever is there. So, very, I'm not so good in English. Initially, I started with a Hindi medium school, then I came here. So, thanks to Rajni ma'am and Kalpana ma'am. So, my heartiest congratulations to the prize winners and for the amazing skit from the students. So I started my journey here. I'll not take much of your time. So initially I'll tell you about what all I did, and it will be a kind of interactive session. If you want to ask anything, you can ask me. And I started here in 2006, 2007 from 7th class, and I finished after 12th. I dropped for 1 year. I went to Kota. I was initially, frankly telling you, I was not into defense. I had no idea of how defense life is and what is the future ahead. So I dropped for a year and I went to Kota. I started preparing for IITs. I was into computers. So Anil sir will know more. He used to teach me C and C++ at that time. So that was the basis of learning computer, and I still learn the Python and other languages also. So that was my base, and I keep telling sir and I keep thanking him for giving me that base to start with. So I left for Kota. I started preparing for IITs, and I was an average student, as it was told. I was neither first from the start or from the last. So I was in between. I didn't talk much. I was used to stay in class and do my thing. So I went for a year. I dropped. I started preparation for IITs. I gave the exam. At that time, it was not. Presently, it is a JEE mains and advanced. So at that time, it was IIT and AITRP. So I wrote the exams. So I was so much into computers, I thought that I'll get computer science somehow, somewhere, but I'll get only computer science. So I got IIT Kharagpur, some biotech, I got it, so I left it. Then me being in defense, now I should not say it, but at that time I got into NIT Srinagar, computer science. So I was like, Srinagar, no, I'll not go to Srinagar. So that was the mindset. Then I got into this thing, RPET. There was an exam for Rajasthan engineering test. So I wrote that exam also. Then I got the good college, MBM Jodhpur, where this IIT Jodhpur classes are also there. So after going there, I also wrote the NDA exam. So frankly, I was not aware what NDA was. So one day my father called me and he told कि this NDA forms are out. Just fill it. So मैंने भर लिया फॉर्म. कोई इशू नहीं था. 100 रुपए का था. कोई सस्ता फॉर्म. ठीक है. I filled it. उसके बाद I cleared the exam. Basically, it's there are two papers. First is maths and second is English, physics, chemistry, economics and history. So I was pathetic at history and economics. So I didn't attempt any question, but I was good in English thanks to Rajni ma'am and Kalpana ma'am, and mathematics also, and Sharda ma'am, thank you. So I attempted the I wrote one separate paper was there for mathematics, so I wrote the exam. It was good. Then, especially, I attempted physics and chemistry. Manish sir, he is here. I'm not. Manish sir is here, and physics. Rakesh sir was there at that time, and especially I wrote these subjects only, and I cleared the exam with good marks. And afterward, I went for SSB. It was in Allahabad. So SSB is generally for 5 days. These are staff interviews, and they generally take you for 5 days. So I cleared the SSBs also. Then I went on to medicals. Especially Air Force have some more tests. In case if you have heard, they have 41 or something or test for getting into Air Force flying. And I chose to be into Air Force, so I went for these medicals. So after medical, there was merit list. Merit list, there was some goof up I made while filling the form. I just selected the Air Force as my first priority, and I didn't select anything after that. So issue was, if I get Air Force, it's fine. Otherwise, I'll not get anything. Means, and for Air Force, it's like if you see the merit list, most of the guys who are there in the upper merit generally opt for Air Force. So I was like, if I don't get into good merit, I'll not get Air Force, and I'll not get anything. Means I'll go out after clearing everything. So it was a suspense till the end. And luckily I was somewhere there, not first in the starting and not first in the last. Okay, so I got the Air Force, I went there, and I spent 3 years in training. I hope at least some of you will be joining NDA. So it's a good, and now it is open for girls also. So it's a good opportunity. You should go and see. It's amazing place. So 3 years I spent there, lot of punishments, lots of training. So it was fun. So in the night 2 o'clock we used to do something, some punishments or something, and I used to think, my friends are there outside enjoying in college, night out and everything. And what am I doing? Right? It used to rain a lot. So it's like, it's not your fault. Anybody has done something, and it's a batch of 250s. So anybody of your course mates have done something wrong, anything. So whole 250 will go for 6, right? So we used to do punishments, and anybody who is from an army background would know that if anything goes wrong, everybody gets the same. So it's not, somebody who has done something, he'll be only punished. So it was a good place, and we used to remember after going out, it was like, I still really miss it. And if they ask me, I can go again to that place and do whatever they are doing now. So it's a beautiful place. So in 2017, I passed out from there. And as I was from the Air Force, so final 1 year, they started preparing me for the Air Force. So I flew Super Dimona trainer aircraft there in NDA itself. Limited exposure, but most of the ground training. Then I went to Air Force Academy, it's there in Hyderabad, Dindigul. And there I flew pilotus aircraft. It's a basic trainer flying aircraft, but it's a good aircraft, good avionics system. So I flew it for 6 months, and I completed my syllabus there. So you can do all kind of aerobatics and upside down, downside up, everything. So it was fun flying, and it was like everywhere you go, it will be a cutthroat competition everywhere. So somehow this thing I finished in 6 months, and based on your flying there on pilotus aircraft, you will be allotted fighters, transports and helicopters. So some of the good merit guys goes for fighters, and then transport. So I was allotted fighters, and I came back here and for my vacations for 14 days. In those 14 days, I managed to come to school also, and I tried to meet everybody. So though the classes were going on, so I was not allowed to go inside, and it's a good thing also. So I met all the teachers and I went back. So I started flying the basic fighter aircraft. It's a Kiran aircraft based. India has only developed it, and HAL is developing. So it's a old aircraft, 1960s, 1965s. So I almost completed my syllabus on that aircraft. I have flown night flying, close formation, all kind of aerobatics and instrument flying, sectors, solo sorties. Solar sorties is like you fly alone. Nobody is with you. You will be flying alone. Then I was close to end of my syllabus. Just few sorties. Sorties, one takeoff and landing. Means once you take off, do your profile in the air, come back, and that's the one sortie. So 2-3 sorties I was just about to finish, and passing out parade is something which we do once we complete our syllabus and once we get commissioned. So it was 10 days short of my passing out, and there was something wrong with the aircraft. And Kiran aircraft has an ejection seat. The ejection seat is something like it's a seat with the normal seat with the aircraft, and there will be rockets which will be fitted inside it. So once you pull the handle, you must have seen in the movies. Everybody watch Hollywood movies, right? Tom Cruise, Top Gun. Everybody has seen. Yeah, it's a best movie and it's a favorite movie for fighter pilots. Okay, so I used to keep it in my phone every time. So every time, whenever I used to feel low, I used to watch that movie. It's a good movie. So ejection seat is something like there are rockets and below your seat, and once you pull the handle, that will eject you out. So in that ejection, it was a sudden shock. Means I was descending at a speed of around 700-750 kilometers per hour. So that was an immense speed, and to throw you out of that speed, the rockets has to throw you out with a much greater speed. So I came out with the seat, and I hurt my back. My complete backbone got fractured, and I was on the ground. So thanks to Air Force, every resources were deployed at the time. So I was airlifted at that very moment with an helicopter, brought back to an hospital. There they saw that it's a back injury, and another separate aircraft was prepared, and I was airborne and I was taken to Bangalore. Same day I was operated, and I stayed there in Bangalore for 6 months in bed. Okay, so you get time to realize everything. And after that, I moved to MH Kirki Pune for rehabilitation for 1.5 years. So meanwhile, my file for retention in services was also going on, and it was not my fault in any ways. And frankly, after going to academy and everywhere, I never had an official punishment. Official punishment is something which officially comes through a letter or something. And unofficial punishments, I have had many. Okay, so I didn't have any punishments. My record was clear. I didn't have any warnings, letter of cautions in flying. If you are interested, I'll tell you later what all things are there. So my merit was good. Means I was among top 5 in the flyings. So, and it was not my mistake. So somehow the ministry thought that I'll be an asset to the Indian Air Force, and they cleared my file for the retention, and I changed my branch. Means I was from the flying branch initially, and then I was allotted accounts branch. So it was a complete shock. I'm from science background and I am given accounts branch. So thanks to Xavier's again. That means in that 1 year, it was a 1 year training again. From science to accounts, I had to switch. And first few and 11th and 12th class accounts, commerce here. Are they here? Okay, nice. So initially that 4 or 5 days, they started this thing, credit this, debit this, and balance sheet और ये सब they started, and सब ऊपर से गया कुछ नहीं आ रहा. Then ठीक है, I was average in studies and then good old Xavierite kicked in. He now start studying. So I started in that 1 year I completed. So in my batch of accounts there were 21 guys. So they were all BCom, MCom, some were IM in Indore pass out, and one was in CA finals. As commerce guys, they must know. So in that 1 year, I did everything I could study. I studied 11th accounts, 12th accounts. I completed this thing, whole BCom syllabus in just 1 year. And finally, when the results were out, all 21 guys were there, and I was the first. I came back with a trophy. Thanks to Xavier. And there was one more, he's a service entry, he was with me in the accounts only, and he has served in accounts branch itself as an airman. So there are two, one is airman and one is the officers in the IAF. So he has served as an airman for 17 years in accounts branch itself. So he was my competition there in that 1 year. Until the final exam, he was ahead of me. 7-8 marks, he was ahead. And final exams, I was the first. So that was a complete transformation. In 1 year, I had to complete all this. So studies is what matters. So this was the journey starting from Xavier's to the end. So I'll not take much of your time. Just few advices I would like to give you, because I used to sit where you are sitting right now. Used to wear same blazer. I must have kept this blazer also. I have to find it, but I definitely have it. So just few advices is most of you must be thinking ki, life is good, just enjoy it right now, have it. But life is way beyond, and you will comprehend life more when you face some real problems. As of now, you are in school, you will move out. Most of you must have not thought कि आगे जाके करना क्या है. I am one of same as you. मुझे भी नहीं पता था क्या करना है. So it was like कि one step at a time. But it's very important to have a goal in life. Till the time you don't have goal, you are lost. Okay, you are not aware what is to be done, you are lost. So it's very important to choose a goal, to work for it, and it's very good. Means in 2010, 2011, the facilities and everything it was not up to that standard the way they are now. So try to work on it. So internet and everything is good. Faculty here, teachers are amazing. Means you see the fluency of my English. Okay, and I started with a Hindi medium school. All thanks to this school only. Okay, you just try to participate in more and more things. Try to come up. Try to be an MC. Try to act. Because at my times, I participated once or twice. Okay, I was a shy type, but things changed slowly. Most important thing which everybody tends to forget is you can be anybody in your life. You can be an IAS, IAPS, an officer, you can be even prime minister, anybody. But very first and foremost thing, you are a human being. Don't forget that. Okay, just try to be a good human first. Good human with good nature, helping, and rest will fall in place. So try to be in good company. Means try to surround yourself with good people. If you surround yourself with good people, as means thank to God, I surrounded myself with some amazing people, and I still remember my course mates. When I passed out of NDA, I was told by the commandant there, Air Marshal Claire, I still remember, and my parents were also there. So the commandant told my parents that now you don't have a single son, you have 250 cents. And I still remember that thing. And literally, those 250 guys are my brothers. And means we have done a lot of things together. Until the time you don't face the hardships, you will not learn. It's very, very important to learn from your mistakes. And it's rightly said that life is too short to make your own mistakes. So try to learn from others' mistakes. Anybody who's making mistakes, just try to learn that you should not commit that kind of mistake. Just be in good company, be a good human being, and rest everything will fall in place.
I have known you that you were, when injured, you were in the hospital and you must have been very devastated that what I will do now. Then how you come up with that?
Nice. At least somebody came to ask. That's a good thing. Okay. So yeah, means I ejected on 28th of November 2018, and I was operated the same day. And for 5-6 days, I was in ICU, and I was so high on drugs, I didn't know what happened to me. So yeah. So initially 2-3 months, I was not aware that something serious has happened, and nobody even told me. It was like means at that time the CNC, and later on he became the chief, Air Chief Marshal R.K.S. Bhaduria. He also came to see me 2-3 times, and we had a good chat. I was not aware of what has happened to me. So after 3 months, it struck me that something is wrong. If something has come, means some bone or something, कुछ टूटा होगा तो तब तक ठीक हो जाएगा, लेकिन ये तो गड़बड़ है, कुछ तो गड़बड़ हो गई है. फिर I started talking with the doctor, and doctors were like, everything is fine, it will take time. So I was like, okay. So I started exercising. Then they shifted me to rehabilitation. So I was told that exercise is the only possible if something could come up. So my injury is, if you see, it's a T6 to T12. There are discs in the backbone. So all of the backbone got shattered, and my spinal cord is deeply. It was deeply shattered, and it was a deep injury. So I used to exercise for 8 hours a day. 8 hours a day I used to exercise, and that was the dedication. I thought something will come up, but unfortunately nothing came, but that's fine. Means till the time you are, I told you, this was my advice, ki just try to be in the company of good people. I never ever realized, until now I have not realized that something wrong has happened to me, because I was surrounded with such good people. Means if you tell, means I have 2 identities with me, specifically 2 identities if I have to introduce myself. Firstly, I am a Xavierite, and secondly, I am an ex-ND. So if you say these 2 things now, seriously. So if somebody used to ask me, where have you done your schooling? So I used to say with proud, St. Xavier's. So it was a good thing. And if somebody used to hear that I am an ex-NDA, everybody was there to help me out. Means I had never ever realized that something is wrong.
Bhaiya, I want to ask you, like, when you were thinking that you won't get any, like, you were not able to get the things in account, so what you do to encourage yourself that you will get it? It's okay, with the time you will get it. Work more hard. So what you did?
Yeah, as I told you, initially for 4-5 days, it was all credit and debit. कुछ नहीं आया दिमाग में. I was like कि आज तो फंस गए, ये तो गलत हो गया. तो ठीक है, initially it was like कि it was tough, but real slowly I started studying, and nothing is all sudden कि you will get everything in your mind, and it's a chip, you fit it in, and everything is hunky dory. It's not like that. So you start slow and gradually you build up the pace. You start to understand the subject. Okay, it's not like कि आज कुछ समझ नहीं आ रहा तो कल भी नहीं समझ में आएगा. आज समझ में आ रहा है, जितना समझ में आया अच्छा है, कल उसको फिर से रिवाइज करो, फिर और आगे बढ़ो. It's step by step. It's not कि whole 100% syllabus you will finish in one day. So there are people who can finish it, but I'm not one of them. So I used to study same thing 4 and 5 times, again and again. You know, I used to study this. I used to study this. Once I studied this, I forgot this. It's all same. You know, I'm a simple student. It happens with everybody, right? You know, you study too many things, you forgot what you studied 2 days back. So keep revising. You start with the revision itself. Once you finish your revision, just add on something. Then again you start with the revision, then again add on something. That was my strategy. Everybody has their own. Okay.
भैया आपकी जो स्कूल लाइफ थी वो मतलब कि कोई ट्रबल था आपकी स्कूल लाइफ में कभी, जैसे आज उसको पीट दिया, आज ये पनिशमेंट मिल गई, या फिर आप एक वेल बिहेव्ड या फिर डिसिप्लिन्ड स्टूडेंट थे? बिल्कुल.
देखो, मैं तो बोलूँगा कि मैं वेल बिहेव था, ठीक है. बट हाँ, I never indulged myself into any of this thing. So I was very shy. As I told you, I never asked questions outside, and I never had any trouble with anybody. So yeah, my brother will answer for this. He was the troublemaker here. So Rakesh sir was there. So I still remember कि हम यहाँ पे असेंबली ग्राउंड में खड़े होते थे, राकेश सर ऐसे आके बाल चेक करते थे सबके ना. तो सर अभी भी करते हैं क्या? It's all the same. Anybody else?
I want to ask a question. When we are in the SSB,
Yeah.
any point that you want to let us know that this is the important thing that you have to remember at that time?
Okay. What I have understood means it's my understanding means I have given SSB only once. So my understanding is try to be true to yourself. Okay, those guys are there. They have been there for many years, so they know कि if you are lying or if you are telling the truth. Frankly telling you, my SSB was lot of fun. Lot of fun in the sense कि the interviewer asked me 2-3 general knowledge questions. So my general knowledge at that time was like this. Okay. So he asked me 2-3 questions and I couldn't answer anyone. Means I didn't know. Still my general knowledge is like this only. Okay. So he was like, okay, you have not answered any of the questions, and if you have to rate yourself out of 10 in general knowledge, how much will you rate? So I was like, कि सर आपने देख ही लिया है मेरी जनरल नॉलेज कितनी है, तो मैं अपने आप को 10 में से 5 नंबर भी दे दूँ तो बहुत बड़ी बात है. तो he was also laughing, I was also laughing. So I was absolutely, frankly, complete honest with him. Yes, I was absolutely honest. And one thing I want to tell you that they don't want absolute brilliant student, and they don't want below average also. They want average people with the understanding, because defense is something, it's like you are dealing with the life of man. Okay, it's very frank. Your decision, whatever decision you make, will judge the life of other person, and it's a very deep thing to understand. You will not understand at this stage, but any order you give, any kind of decision you make, it will judge the life, and it can either give life or it can take life. So it's a very big thing, big and heavy thing. You have to understand. That's why defense is it's an amazing service, and I think many of you should be a part of it, because I think Xavierite can handle it well. Yeah.
Bhaiya, how did you remember all, as you have trained in the fighter pilots?
Then how did you remember each and every button where to press when?
Yeah, it's a very difficult thing. Okay, means most of the helicopters and fighter this thing transport aircrafts, it's a big cockpit. Okay, so you used to carry your checklist and everything. Checklist is something. It's a kind of book which carries all the checks and procedures. Everything is written. But fighter's cockpit is very. It's like my seat only. Okay, this is the cockpit. Okay, so there are a lot of buttons here and there, everywhere, PFD, SFD, GPS, and all kind of secondary radars and this thing. So all buttons, nothing to keep, you can't keep your sandwich also there. So, nothing, it's not. So you have to learn. That was the only thing. So you have to study like anything. So I used to study till 2 or 3 in the night and morning flying. I used to fly 3 sorties a day and it was so exhausting. But once you take off now, there's a call. Everybody is allotted with a call sign. So my instructor's call sign was, so it was like we are constantly in touch with the ATC tower. ATC is air traffic control. It's a tower which controls all the traffic in the air. As there are roadways there are roads on the ground, right? So there are pathways in the air also. So we are constantly in the touch with the ATC tower. So once you give the call, RT call, radio call to the ATC, ki take off. So they'll say that you are clear to take off. So we have to reply that you are clear to take off. Clear to take off. So once you give the call to ATC that you are clear to take off, and once you open the throttle now, amazing feeling. Amazing. अब फाइटर वाइल एकदम फीलिंग आ जाती है कि भाई तुम ही हो दुनिया में, बाकी सब कुछ नहीं है. ठीक है. It's amazing, seriously. But you have to study. It's lot of studies. It's a very demanding. Means you have to sit on there are dummy cockpits with all the buttons and everything. So you have to sit and practice for hours and hours. Practice the same movement as you will be doing in the cockpit. Same. Everything you have to simulate on the ground. Gradually it will come. ऐसा नहीं है कि पहले ही दिन तुम जाओगे तुम्हें हाँ भाई बेटा ये एयरक्राफ्ट है जाओ ले जाओ आप ही का है, ऐसा नहीं होता. ठीक है. तो there will be an instructor sitting beside you or behind you. He will be teaching you, okay, in all the if you do something wrong also, he will be punishing also. Everything happens. Defense is a versatile and it's a beautiful area. So yeah, you have to practice a lot. You have to study a lot.
Yeah, as I listened that you are a best in badminton, are you planning for to represent India in Paralympics?
Yeah, I means I was in hospital and there is a limit to it. Okay, there is a limit to you can stay in bed on a hospital. So as I told you, I used to exercise for 8 hours a day, and then I started badminton. So I still play badminton, and I was going for para badminton nationals. So I was cleared for nationals through the services team, but I still play badminton and. I was cleared for nationals, but unfortunately I couldn't go because of the COVID, the lockdown restrictions, so I couldn't go. So yeah, I play badminton, I play table tennis, I do swimming, okay, I swim also, just with my hands, I swim. So it's nothing is impossible, okay. Life has struck you down, it's not that you will stay down itself, okay. It's on you how you lift yourself up, okay. I would say there was an air marshal. Okay. So when this file for the retention in service was going on, he came to my unit and my instructors were there. They were curious what is going on. So my instructor asked the air marshal what is happening. That air marshal, you know what he said? He said that guy is in a wheelchair. What good he is for the service? That was the question he said. So it's not like he was wrong. Okay, he's absolutely right on his part. Me being on a wheelchair, how would I serve the nation? So at that point, my instructor, you see, for a fighter pilot, his wings are the most important thing. Wings is something you wear on your chest. Okay, this is what you get after you get commissioned. So my instructor told that Air Marshal, sir, he was my instructor for 5 months, so he have seen me, how do I perform, how do I fly, how I am in behavior and everything. So finally, he told, sir, if that guy doesn't prove to be an asset to the Indian Air Force, I'll give you my wings. He said that. Literally, he said, sir, if that guy is not an asset to the Air Force, I'll give you my wings. That is a very big, you will not understand this thing. But for a fighter pilot, his wings are everything. If you take his wings, you have taken his life. It's like that. I had to prove my instructor right. I had to do something. So it's like, till the time you don't get kick, you'll not perform. Okay. Yeah, anybody else?
So as you said that, Bhaiya, you said that you wanted to do the IIT. So I think you would have done GMain or G Advanced. So how did you deal with the studies and how did you feel when you get the Kharagpur station for your studies?
Okay, I just told I'll quickly reply to this. I was into computers and I just wanted computer science. I didn't want anything else. So I prepared for it. So I was in Kota, I was in resonance. So I only knew 3 paths. 1 to my mess, 1 to my PG and 1 to resonance. There was a mall just beside resonance. Till date, just beside means once you cross the road, it's right in front of it. Okay. Till date, I have never been to that mall. Till date. Means I knew only 3 paths, resonance, my PG and the mess. So I studied a lot. Okay. But I told you I was an average student. Okay. Not first from the top and not first from the last. So
Please give a big round of applause to our students. Thank you, Bhaiya, for your inspirational words. Your each word is like a gem and will surely inspire us to all to do something like you. Your entire journey is exemplary and every move of yours is so inspiring. Thank you so much, Bhaiya, for being with us today. Everyone is happy today by felicitating Xavier's exam. And continuing the process, I would like to invite Manager Father Sebastian. Father, please. Thank you, Father. Now I request Vice Principal Sir Rakesh to honor our flying officer with a shawl. Now I would like to call upon Father Shaju to honor the officer with Xavier's Excellence Award. Thank you, Father. Thank you, Bhaiya. Good morning to all. I'm here to propose vote of thanks. First of all, I would like to thank Almighty God for being with us during the whole program. Next, I would like to thank our respected principal, Father Jose, and our school management for allowing us to conduct this program. Without their permission, it is not possible. And I would like to thank Yogesh Bhaiya to inspire us with their words. And I would also thank each one of you present here to make this event successful. Thank you all. Now, all of us, let's say Bharat Mata Ki Jai in 3 times. Say loudly. Bharat Mata Ki Jai! Bharat Mata Ki Jai! Bharat Mata Ki Jai! Thank you.